So you've probably heard the news that the Zillinator, Gogzilla, MomZille is considering to run for mayor of Johannesburg after DA's top picks declined the post. And most of them in business, and apparently some of them felt the 1.5 million salary was too small for them. But Gogzilla doesn't care about that. So in this video, I'm gonna do something different I've never done before. I'm just gonna share my thoughts, and please hear me clearly. I'm not campaigning for the DA. If you want to know which party I support, then go check out this video right here. It'll tell you. But I'm hoping that at the end I would have said some things that will have you thinking, because we are determined, we are committed, we take it as done that South Africa will prosper. So if you're ready, press like and let's go. Okay, so MomZille is considering to put her name in by the 15th of June to then go through the processes to be chosen as City of Joburg mayor. She's been complaining about Joburg, of course, because she's from here. She's now in Cape Town, so she's had an interest in Johannesburg. She's been executive mayor of Cape Town, and there's the whole thing about Cape Town being the best run city, but also there's the stigma that's been thrown in there to say, but it's only for white people, but the townships are not that good, unlike Alex, which is just beautiful. When you leave Sandton and go to Alex, you don't know anything has changed. It's just all streets of gold. So of course it's politics, and it's worked because it's repeated so many times. But the truth of the matter is, whether you like it or not, it is better to be in Langa than to be in Alex. Why? Because half the number of unemployed people will be around you in Langa, and you'll have double the number of unemployed if you are in Alex. And then of course people try to talk about budget, but nobody cares about that. People want to know the realities. The realities is that if 4 of your neighbors don't have a job in Alex, then only 2 of your neighbors won't have a job if you're in Langa. And it's not going to get better as well, because right next door is Eastern Cape, and it's the highest unemployment. What happens? People move from unemployment to better opportunities. So it's going to take many years for them to deal with that. Also, here's the thing. There's 2 ways to get rid of inequality. Number 1 is to make everyone equally poor, or make everyone to some extent equally rich. And usually the people who worry about inequality are willing to make everyone equally poor. And that's what South Africa has been struggling with. Okay, first of all, Helen Zille is one of those rare politicians who are bigger than the political game in which they operate. You had Mandela. He was one of those. He was really bigger than the ANC. He was a statesman. And then you had Zuma. Like him or not, Zuma rose above just being a politician. These are people who somehow are able to be a politician but rise above it and be a human being that represents something and become an ideal of some kind, and you feel like, I know him. And to a lesser extent, President Thabo Mbeki, a little bit, not as much, but an awesome president for all the choices that we had. Right. And then you had Ramaphosa. President Ramaphosa has that thing as well. Unfortunately, after the whole New Dawn, I believe he squandered it completely. Squandered it completely. And sadly, he will be leaving the office as a smooth talking politician. So that's a pity from just what I'm talking about. I'm talking about politics. Now, the last person who had this is this lady right here. MomZille is an interesting politician because she also managed to cross that threshold. Here's the thing, there are two types of people in South Africa. There are those who love Helen Zille, and there are those who hate Helen Zille, depending on where the person sits in terms of their politics. So they either hate her and they will paint her as the worst racist. They'll say she's the woman who said apartheid was wonderful. No need to explain to those people. They know they're lying. They know they're stretching what she said. But the reason why they hate her so much is because she crossed that threshold. Now, there are many people who are just wonderful politicians, but they don't have that. Up till now, in everyone's mind, the leader of the DA is Steenhuisen, but in their hearts, the leader of the DA is Helen Zille, because she has that thing. So some love her, some hate her, and I'll come back to that point. So let's talk about the Joburg mayorship. I think it can go one of two ways. We're just dreaming here because it's early days. She throws a hat in the ring and runs, and negative is that the DA takes a knock because she's become the anchor of the DA. And the DA takes a knock with her having to be a government official, because the only thing that the DA has right now in terms of their radar is MomZille's saying a few words. Without that, with the DA having to navigate the GNU and each party in there is trying to water down the other party, and let's try use government rules, and sometimes you don't know why DA ministers feel they can't say the past administration, and at times they so support the current policy that they forget to say, unlike the past administration which messed it up. Guys, please, that doesn't break any rule. Do say it. She is at a point where she now lends her credibility to the party. She's no longer the person that the party lends all credibility to her. And I'll tell you why. It's because some love her, some hate her, but countrywide, everyone respects her. Even the ones who hate her respect her. Even the ones who love her, obviously, respect her. And a big reason for it is because Helen Zille is one of the only people that you never feel is playing politics. You always get the sense that she's saying what she's thinking, and she's thinking what she's saying, and she's saying it because she believes it, and doesn't talk double, doesn't mince words, and you've you'll never catch her flip-flopping. Meaning, if what she's about to say is unpopular, she'll still say it. And not only that, but she'll be able to explain it to a 6-year-old so that you know what she said. And rather than just spewing jargon so that the jargon keeps me safe, she really is a 74-year-old genuine person. And genuine people are hated and loved, but always respected. And not only respected, but trusted. What do I mean by trusted? Even if you hate Zille, you trust that she'll say what she stands for, and that's all she will say. Now, I'm going to say one last thing. If South Africa ever had to have a white president, and a successful one, it could only be Helen Zille. Now, I'm not taking jabs at the leader of the DA. This is not this versus that. I'm just talking about Helen Zille. And if you don't like what I'm saying, fine. Say whatever. Just go down and comment, the DA paid you, blah, 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 blah. You're just jealous because they paid me. You wish they paid you, huh? You can share your thoughts at the bottom. But for me, if there was ever a successful white president in South Africa, it would have to be MomZille. Why? Because South Africa would be able to trust her and respect her. Not always like her, but everyone would be able to respect her and feel like, that's my president. And I'm only talking about her because of this that's happening now, but I'm sharing this because where South Africa is, South Africa needs good policy, sure. South Africa needs an honest government, sure. South Africa needs a big change and a change of direction in the right direction, sure. But what South Africa needs more than anything is leadership. And by leadership, I mean someone who can talk to the country and people feel something about what they said and give hope, able to inspire every South African and make them feel like when I wake up and go to work, I'm going to do it for my president. My president told me this is where we're going, and my president told me this is my part. All right, now let me go do my part for my president, for my country. And as soon as you get a country there, good policy immediately goes on steroids. A good vision immediately goes on steroids. Unfortunately, South Africa has operated under demotivational, low self-esteem politicians. And when the new dawn came, you realize some of that. But then the country realized the guy's acting. And that's horrible because then he just went from being liked to hated permanently. Mr. Ramaphosa will never recover in 500 years. Let me put it like this. Julius Malema is in a better position than Ramaphosa because he's never disappointed anyone. Ramaphosa was a huge, mega, never to recover from disappointment. He lost respect. He lost trust. That's the worst thing to lose. Politicians lose popularity. But when people have that thing, they don't just lose popularity, they lose respect, they lose trust. Horrible. So South Africa needs leadership. I'm talking about this while we're dreaming about some hypothetical thing. Do I think Mom Helen Zille should take the Joburg mayorship? I'm not sure. Sometimes taking a complex situation like Joburg, unless it's with a 50+1 majority, I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts. If she got it, do you think she should take it? Let me hear you in the comments below. And I know many of you who live in Joburg will say, yes, absolutely. I don't know. I see, it could go either way. But South Africa needs this. For out of you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people. South Africa needs a shepherd. Someone who will take us along and you feel like we are led. We are going somewhere. Right now, not many people feel like a shepherd, speak like a shepherd. Most of them are playing the popularity game, and that's limited. And it doesn't bring much change, doesn't bring much movement. Those are my thoughts. So, no man can serve two masters, because either he'll love the one or hate the other, or he'll respect the one and disrespect the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx. By that I mean, you can't have a morality of right and wrong and of black and white at the same time. At some point, you will disrespect one. You cannot have a morality of good and bad and a morality of revolutionary and counter-revolutionary. At some point, you will disrespect and dishonor one. You cannot have a morality of what works and what doesn't work, and a morality of black or white. At some point, you will have to disrespect and dishonor one of them. Because at some point, someone will say 1 + 1 equals black 3. Now, you cannot serve both. You will end up having to say, that is false because I'm committed to truth. Or you will say, no, it's right and you are arguing with me because you're racist. You cannot serve God, the author of good, bad, right, wrong, effective, ineffective, and Karl Marx, the author of revolutionary, counter-revolutionary, black versus white, oppressed versus oppressor. You can't do both. So let's go with truth. Let's go with effective. Let's go with what's right. Let's go with what's good. And let's go for prosperity. And let's make history together. Cheers.